We are ready to be guarantors for Nnamdi Kanu. Release him, Abaribe tells Tinubu. To my dear listeners, this is a news concerning Nnamdi Kanu. And to my dear listeners, it is no longer news that Nnamdi Kanu is the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, and which is apprehended by the federal government during the regime of President Muhammadu Buhari. So, right here, before I move into details, kindly please ensure you like, subscribe to this channel, and share. Good morning, and welcome to today's news. Abia South Senator Naya Abaribe has declared his readiness to stand as a guarantor for the detained leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, Nnamdi Kanu. Abaribe made this known while addressing journalists after a meeting with Governor Alex Otti of Enugu State. The senator also called on President Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu to heed the advice of the Attorney General of the Federation, Lateef Fagbemi, and other stakeholders advocating for Kanu's release. Releasing Kanu will put a stop to the issue of criminalities in the southeast, Abaribe emphasized during the briefing. The renewed call for Kanu's release comes amid escalating insecurity in the southeast, with many stakeholders arguing that addressing IPOP's grievances is crucial to restoring peace in the region. He said, I expect that the president will listen to both his Attorney General and every one of us who have been agitating that the issues in the southeast, first of all the insurgency, the sit at home on Mondays, and every other thing we have noticed in the southeast. What we now know in the southeast is that criminals and all other people will advocate violence have taken over and using the name Nnamdi Kanu to perpetuate all these their despicable acts. We know that the president, being a listening president, will also look at all the issues involved which we have presented to him from various mediums, and that he will do the needful and release Nnamdi Kanu so that it will put a stop to all these things that are happening in the southeast and bring back the southeast as the hub of production in Nigeria. So he needs Nnamdi Kanu out so that all those things that are holding us down in the southeast, that have made us not produce as much as we ought to produce, will not be there. So we continue to call on President Tinubu to release Nnamdi Kanu. And we are ready and willing to be guarantors for him to be released so that we can have life coming back into the southeast and take it away from the criminals, kidnappers, the cultists and dangerous elements that are floating around us who have made it a point that they would perpetuate violence, do criminal activities, and use Nnamdi Kanu's name as their reasons. Yeah, before I go, now I've come to the end of our today's news, and now before I go, like to make a quick addition to this. Well, I think there is something that these people do not understand, and and or they really understand, or maybe they are turning a deafening ear towards it. What I was trying to, what in my own knowledge, personally, I would really say releasing Nnamdi Kanu is really the best option that would help the southeast at the moment. Looking at the way things are, you know, it's about, I don't know how to make the explanation, but I will go by the way that says, um, Nnamdi Kanu is still in detention, and we all know the reasons why Nnamdi Kanu is in detention of the DSS. So I think there are people that were using it, that were trying to use the movement of the IPOB to perpetuate evil, so as for the federal government to think, okay, this is coming from the IPOP. So let's not be biased. If there is any armed robbery scene in the southeast now, IPOP would be held responsible. So, to how many claims do you really think IPOP can disburse? No, things are not done that way. So, to my own belief, I expected that even Nnamdi Kanu is released from the detention of the DSS. At least all these crimes would reduce. That is when the federal government would focus on the next line of action. That is when you know that all these evil perpetrators are not coming. All these atrocities happening in the southeast, they are not coming from from the IPOP people. So it is some people that are not in love with the hyper movement, or because they are evil on their own. They are trying to use the movement so as to carry out their own evil operations, which the security, the all the armed forces.
Now we've come to the end of our today's news. Please do drop by the comment section and let us know what your view is all about. Thank you for listening.